Hey, good morning, YouTube subscribers. This is mainly for our church body, our local church body, but if you're listening to YouTube here, you can listen in. I'm talking about fasting and giving some tips for fasting. We're going into a corporate-wide fast. Here we are, or here I am actually up in the mountains. Right around the new year, I take a few days and I just get away, going on 2 days here now of just water only. And it hasn't been too difficult, but I'm going to talk about that. We'll talk about that in just a minute and why it hasn't been too difficult. Of course, praying and the grace of God and different things. But when you go into fasting, I would make it a lifestyle. Intermittent fasting, long-term fasting, it's part of your life. And the reason many people have difficulty fasting is they just stop eating, which is good. And if God's called you to do that, do that. Don't throw this advice out the door if God's called you to just go cold turkey. But many people, okay, I'm going to start fasting tomorrow. And then no sugar, no caffeine, no processed food and chemicals and sodium nitrates and things that are just, our body just craves. You're actually going through withdrawals the first few days, if not a week. Your body is detoxing. So my advice, if you can, is to do that first. Begin to wean off sugar, processed foods, Coke, you name it, junk. If God didn't make it, if it's not in a good whole state, just reject it. Get your body clean. Then you go into fasting. It's a lot easier. Plus, if you're on a ketogenic diet first and your body's already burning keto bodies, the transition into fasting is easier. But I don't try to get too technical because I don't have time for that kind of stuff. I'm busy, you're busy. But fasting tips, you have to be prepared. You are going to be moody. I actually had to stop this video once and just delete it. And I'm tired and groggy, foggy. But I've got ups and I've got downs. I've been able to accomplish so much and pray and read and study, and it's been encouraging. But you have to be prepared for the ups and downs. And but again, if God's called you to just to water only, and He's going to strengthen you, then trust in that and go forward. But we also have to use wisdom. So you would want to position yourself in a way to where you don't have a lot of stress that day or that weekend. If I were you, I'd encourage you to take some vacation days, a few vacation days, and fast. And people, tons of questions come in. So I'm actually going to include a free download of my book, Feasting and Fasting, that'll answer a lot of questions. For example, can I drink coffee on my fast? Well, you probably shouldn't. You probably should be weaning off of caffeine. Also, if you don't drink organic coffee, you're getting a lot of pesticides and herbicides and fungicides. And the whole point is detox. What about juice? Well, no, then that's called juice feasting. You're not fasting. What about this? Fasting is water only. Now, there are times where I might mix a little apple cider vinegar. If I have a little bit of grape juice and apple cider vinegar, and I'll mix it with some water, just to kind of get something in my mouth. It's about 100 calories. And those hardcore fasters on the physical side of it will say, Shane, you're knocking your body out of autophagy. And that's true. Autophagy is when you have nothing to burn except your body fat and other diseased tissue. So your body will begin to burn diseased tissue, cancer tumors. That's been a proven fact. Many things the body will begin to consume. It's called autophagy, self-eating. It's a Greek or Latin word, I believe. 2 words actually. And but by taking in 100 calories, I'll be back into autophagy very quickly. And my goal first and foremost is spiritual. So if you need just a tiny bit of juice to take the edge off, that's okay. I would plan on going as long as you can. For example, I wanted some last night, but I just slept all the way through. And got up this morning, was fine. And so it's not something that I recommend, but it is something you can do. And then you just get back on track. And I know people fasted a few days and then they just blow it. They snap, they have a handful of peanuts. Well, get back on track. Don't just blow it. Just get back on track. God looks at that. God looks at the heart. And so if you're doing it for physical reasons, get back on track. You'll still lose weight. You'll still clean the body out. If you're doing it for spiritual reasons, God doesn't measure our spirituality by perfectionism. He measures it by faithfulness. And Lord, I blew it. I want to get back on track. And you just get back on track. So here are a couple tips to be prepared. Means you have to plan things out. To be pre-planned is prepared. So plan things out. When are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? Be prepared for the ups and downs to get through. If you need a little bit of juice just to get you through an hour, then you do that and you're back on track. If you don't, that's great as well. You just want to keep moving forward. So again, I'm going to put all the information in the description. I might include a few sermons on fasting that will help. But the big tip is, again, if it's spiritual reasons, you just keep moving forward. It's been amazing. Sometimes the worship is just tremendous as you're fasting, but then sometimes it's hard. I want to just go grab something to eat, but I don't have anything to eat up here. I did bring some. I don't have them with me. I leave them out in my truck or somewhere. A few cut up mango, half a cup of mango, cut up mango, just in case. I need to just get something in my system. I'm also careful, being borderline and hypoglycemic in my past, but I just found out I was addicted to sugar. And so the hypoglycemia disappeared. Things that are starting to happen after 2 days, my sinuses have cleared up tremendously, more so than in many months. I had something going on. I didn't know what it was. That seemed to break free. My reading, my eyesight is better on close up, reading close up. Joints are feeling better, and that's just after 2 days. But many times it takes 3, 4, 5, 6 days. I mean, you've got to break through sometimes, and I've been able to detox prior to this, and it's more of a lifestyle for me. So I want to encourage you, even if you get through 6 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours, that's a good accomplishment. Get back on track and keep at it. Just keep fasting, seek God. Well, Shane, how long should I go? Well, this is a hard question because for physical reasons, for example, with my eyesight, I should have knee surgery. I should have shoulder surgery on both my anterior deltoids, anterior medial posterior deltoids. My whole shoulder is racked on both of these from lifting 200-300 pounds when I was younger, too much, squatting. I've got a lot of issues. So I'm praying for eyesight, cleaning out the arteries, liver. So I'm going to go as long as I can for health reasons. I'd like to go a couple weeks. But for spiritual reasons, you go. I feel that there's a release sometimes. If God doesn't give you a week or a 3-day or a 1 day or whatever the goal is, set, what do you, and a lot of times I fasted. I said, I'm going to keep going. And there was one time I fasted, I think it's about a year, I don't remember now, year and a half ago or so, 9 days. On my 9th day, I was driving home from the church and I just felt a release. Went home and ate healthy. You got to remember, you want to introduce, if you go over 4 or 5 days, you want to introduce food at a very slow rate and good food, juice, broth, easy to digest, fruits, and different things. So it's on one hand, there's an art to it. There's a science. You want to prepare your body. You want to be prepared for withdrawals. But I've known people who've just fasted and God sustained them. They just stopped drinking. They stopped eating sugar, and they said it wasn't too bad, and God sustained them. And others have went through hell because the body's detoxing. So when I feel really weak, I just lay down and let my body detox. I don't rush to grab something. Especially don't grab any junk food right now. Do not grab any junk food. If you're going to eat anything, just have it be healthy. Something small, something healthy, and then you get back on track. So not only that, it'll help with weight loss. You can expect to lose about 1 pound a day with water fasting, and you'll probably gain about half of that back, but you can maintain that lower rate as you just keep a healthy diet. And again, I'm going to include everything in the description that should help with this. A book I wrote on addiction, Help I'm Addicted will help. A book I wrote many years ago that we just revised and updated. What works when diets don't, that should help as well. So I'm gonna put the link in the bottom of this description, and hope that helps answer some of these tips for fasting, for weight loss, for spiritual goals. I mean, that's my main focus, is spirituality and drawing closer to God and my relationship through Jesus Christ. But obviously the physical benefits are incredible as well. So I will talk to you soon. If you have questions or comments, you can put them in the comment line. And if I can't get to them, I know someone else can, and we can help answer some of those questions. Thank you. Oh, and you might hear the dripping. That is water from all the snow melting. So we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.